Hey, Julie, how are you today?
I'm good.
We have an amazing guest today.
I'm
I
excited.
know I've held you in suspense.
You
We
never
have
fill me in on anything.
no. What's the point?
I like surprises.
It's more fun. We have David Meltzer today.
Ooh.
Yeah, David, amazing, amazing person.
Mm.
How has he impacted your life?
I don't want to talk about that. You'll make me
You'll start
emotional.
crying. I'll start crying too. We have David Meltzer on today, guys. I hope you absolutely enjoy it. I don't even have a title for this podcast except for it's David Meltzer. We'll see you on the inside. Everybody, welcome back to the Prime Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Skip Weiss, the Bowtie Chiropractor, and I am here with my fabulous wife, Dr. Julie. It is so good to see you today. And we have a very, very, very special guest, an incredibly close friend of ours, one of our mentors. We have David Meltzer with us. David Meltzer, how are you doing? It is so good to see you, my friend. I can feel your energy from here.
Well, I saw your name on my schedule, Julie and Skip, and my heart just started to sing. So this collective frequency, I would do this every day to see you, and I just want to say thank you for providing me another platform to help people.
We are absolutely honored to have you here. What do you think, Dr. Julie?
I'm excited. I am a little disappointed you were in Madison and Green Bay is not too far. I saw you were in town for for
Oh my
family
goodness.
weekend.
Yeah,
I
we.
always forget, but you guys are always welcome. I'm going to text you from now on if you want to come in. I was there for 24 hours, but Julie
Yeah.
was there a little bit longer than me. But I always forget. So yes, I will make sure that's on the hit list that every time I'm there, because I got 3 more years of school to go.
You do have 3 more years, and it's your wonderful daughters down there, and we don't wanna cut in on family time either, though, so we know how important that is, and for those of you out there listening and watching, you may not know this, but Dave is married to another amazing Julie. She's absolutely beautiful, she's a phenomenal woman. David, how long have you guys been married?
25 years,
Yep.
and it is the best decision I've ever made. And I've made some really good ones and some really bad ones. But I will tell you that if I can encourage anyone to have one person, an intimate person in their life, it is by far one of the top three things to guarantee happiness.
I agree with you 100%. Would you agree?
I agree.
You're my best friend.
Mm.
So and I wouldn't want it any other way, and I guess Dave runs a close second.
Oh, thank you.
Dave, the point of this podcast is we've done a little bit of difference in the last 4 years. We were very heavy pediatric chiropractic based. I've done it for 4 years, haven't missed a week, but now we're making a massive shift, especially here at Prime Family Chiropractic Centers and with our community. And we want to change this energy of the human's ability to heal and being the light of the light. Because as chiropractors, we believe this crazy premise that the body is designed to heal itself. And we want to talk about that from a spiritual and family based standpoint. And we've heard your podcast, we've heard you do multiple interviews, got to see you speak on stage. Heck, even went to a private island with you for 3 days and was completely immersed with you. And we get to see you in Scotland here in a couple of months. Like, you're an amazing dad. And you need to know that. And I see how you work with Miles and Marlena, and I see with your other two daughters, you're an amazing dad and you're an amazing husband. And David, how have you bridged that gap with being super successful, tons of time given into your business and helping out tons of people, and now being the best dad that I see you be? How do you find that balance?
Yeah, well, first of all, balance is reliant upon the dependent variable of time itself. And so I see time as the only quantitative measurement of being balanced every day in alignment with what I want. So many people try to create a false facade of balance. Mathematically, I think it would be almost impossible to live your life 25% personal values, 25% experiential, 25% giving, 25% receiving, and somehow coordinate all the multivariables of activities you have planned, don't have planned, sleep with the activities that you get paid for and don't get paid for. And so, what I do is I create 5 daily practices that really allow me to take advantage of the infinite time and man-made constructive time and reconcile those. So the way that we create weighted balance every day is to know what we want today in a trajectory of what we think we want in the future, and making sure that the meaning of the defined moments, inflection points, mistakes, failures, and setbacks of our past are aligned with the trajectory, not holding us back. So, for example, on Saturday, I spent the day with Marlena, who's my 18-year-old freshman at Madison, Wisconsin. I weighted my balance because I wanted to be present for her. So the majority of my time was spent with Marlena. Now, I still spend a minimum of an hour on my health. I still spend 30 minutes with Julie. I still spend 30 minutes with Miles and 2 minutes with my other daughters. And I still called my mom for a minimum of a minute. And I still studied my calendar for a minimum of 10 minutes. So I ended up doing some activities I get paid for while everybody was sleeping, and all the different things of non-time versus scheduled time. And through this, it aggregates, it compounds, and it accelerates time, allowing me to be more productive, more accessible, and more gracious with my time, and also providing me more options, opportunities, and touches of favor to appear as if I have more than other people have. I have a better family life, a better marriage. I have a better relationship with my mom. I have better health. I have better wealth. I have better happiness. That's because I've been aggregating what I want in the trajectory of what I think I want, and clearing the meanings of the defined moments, setbacks, and failures from punishment to protection and promotion.
Which makes a ton of sense. A good friend of Julie and I is his downfall set, and he talks about being present and commanding presence. And you hit that on the head of understanding how important your time is as a parent, but then being able to be present with Marlena, being able to be present with Miles, and not being distracted by thousands and thousands of things. Wouldn't you agree, Dr. Julie?
Yeah, that I think that is the struggle that now, like our day and age, like everybody is always plugged in.
Hmm.
And so to willingly unplug in the sense to be present with somebody like that, with somebody's busy schedule, if somebody's going to be like, I'm going to set this time aside for you, that means a lot to me. Like even for you, Dave, to take time out of your schedule to meet with us, that we can impact more. Like we know, on the reciprocal side of like when somebody knows that your schedule is super busy or super full, overwhelmed, and when you're setting time aside for that person, that connection is really important.
And I'd like to add one thing because I try to simplify things for people. I have a do it now philosophy because, 100% of the things I do now get done. But I've also added to that since I've known you two. I have a do it now and know what you're going to do next attitude. And in
I
order
love
to
that.
do it now and know what I'm going to do next, I need to know what's important to me today in a trajectory of where I want to be. Let me give you an example because it's kind of ethereal when I talk about this stuff. So one of my things that I want in my life is I want to live a healthy, long life. I want to live healthy over 111 years old. And in order to do so, I need to prioritize my health today. In order for me to live to over 111 health in being healthy, I have to make sure I make that the priority. I also want to have a great marriage for a long. I want to be married as long as I'm alive, as long as Julie's alive, happily married. So then I prioritize that. See, the thing is, if you know how to prioritize, then you know what's important to you. Prioritization is the antidote to feeling overwhelmed. Prioritization is the antidote to procrastination. And so those people that know what they're doing now and know what they want to do next, they have an antidote to the biggest cause of fear, void, shortages, and obstacles that we create in our perception, which is procrastination and feeling overwhelmed. First of all, when people tell me they feel overwhelmed, I said, take a minute and say thank you. And they're like, what are you talking about, crazy man? I said, honestly, if you're overwhelmed, that means you have too many options, too many opportunities, and too many touches of favor. That sounds like abundance to me, Skip and Julie. So why don't you take a second to be grateful that you have so many options, opportunities, and touches of favor? Now let me teach you to prioritize by knowing what you want, who you can help, who can help you, and how best that get it get that done with lenses of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude.
Right. And we've talked about this before, David. And so when you're working with Miles, I had the pleasure of getting to know your son, meeting him, and he's an amazing, amazing boy, quite an accomplished athlete. Man, he's winning championships left and right. Obviously got all of his athletic talent from his mom. And, and but
And good looks. And good
that's
looks.
right. Yeah, he's handsome, man. He's yeah, he's handsome. But how do you when you have priorities when you're working specifically with your son, David, what do you do? What do you work on with Miles? Because I find that when I'm working with my son Brecken, I'm trying to raise him to be a God fearing man, but also teach him that he teach him the nobility of being humble, yet the nobility of taking massive pride in himself. How do you do that with Miles? Because I see it out of Miles all the time.
Yeah, there's 3 things for all my kids that I focus in on, and I try to keep it simple. Um, I wanna make sure they do 3 things every day. Do their best at whatever they're doing. So if, they're helping me clean the garage, my expectation is you're gonna do your best at it. If you're gonna be playing in a game, you're gonna do your best. If you're doing your homework, you're gonna do your best. Second, I want you to learn lessons from everything. See, when I teach them, you talk about God fearing. When I teach the lesson of lessons, it incorporates faith, because if you're looking for the lessons, you're already admitting or establishing faith. Because when I'm looking for the lessons, pain, setbacks, failures, and mistakes are just indicators that I have a lesson to learn. They're not a punishment. And so it inspires me when I do my best and learn lessons. And then finally, the third thing is I need you to have fun with everything you do. Notice my philosophy of happiness is enjoying the consistent every day, persistent without quit, pursuit of your potential. So I make sure that they're not competing with their dad, they're not competing with their mom or their siblings, their friends, Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn. None of that exists in their world. I'm teaching them to enjoy the pursuit of their potential. So everyone, I'm interested in Delta. I say this to my kids all the time. They said, "Why? Because you fly so much?" I said, "No, not Delta Airlines. I'm interested in how much progress you make, because some of the things that you're going to pursue, you have a very low basement." This was true for me in athletics, not for Miles, but for me. My del my delta, it was humongous by the time I graduated college, because I wasn't born with a very high basement where, Ryan Leaf, someone that I represented at Lee Steinberg, he was born with an incredible basement, but my delta was way better than his delta. If he had the delta I had, he'd be better than Tom Brady, because he has more skills than Tom Brady. He was born with a high thing. So when we talk to our children, I don't talk outcomes, right? I believe I talk in being a ferocious Buddha, meaning you're ferocious. You're going to do your best today. You're going to learn lessons with the right mindset, handset, heart set, but you're also going to have fun. And so when things aren't fun, you're going to stop and you're going to figure out with your higher level of enlightenment, how can I make this fun? How can I learn to love what I do? You see, if you love what you do, Skip and Julie, I know you think I'm going to say you'll never work a day in your life. Not true. If you learn to love what you do, it will tell you all of its secrets.
Mhm.
And those secrets, those subtle little things that you, Skip, Julie, and I have all learned, those create a greater delta, and they make things even easier. And people sit around you in amazement going, "How do you get so much done? How do you do everything this well? How are you such a—" Well, because I've learned the secrets, because I do my best, learn lessons, and have fun.
I think watching out for those, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's some of my best days are those that I have prioritized and I've put things into order and I've looked ahead to see, okay, where am I going? And then when I get into the chaos or I feel overwhelmed, then I go back and I realize, well, I haven't looked at my list. Where is my priority for the day?
And you talk about the man-made construct of time all the time, David, and how we put these man-made construct of time is, and I'll let you get into that, but how we put these kind of, I think, like unreasonable expectations on ourselves because we're just not disciplined in the small things. We're just not disciplined in the easy things, right?
Yeah, well, the easy things to do are unfortunately easy not to do, and so we
Mhm.
don't do them, like saying thank you. But yeah, the man-made construct of time basically says there's 24 hours in a day. Um, but remember, the speed of thought moves faster than the speed of light, so we can actually think faster, believe faster, and feel faster than we can say or do. And doing and saying is slower than the speed of light. The man-made construct of time is based off of a particle of light leaving the sun to the earth, so it's based off of the speed of light. So when we understand the five levels of intention, that I can only do so much within the context of 24 hours, I can only say so much as well, but I can think much more, I can believe much more, and I can feel much more. And all of these different energies, vibrations, and frequencies hold the three characteristics of progress. And when we understand that, number one, energy, money, behavior, progress, whatever it may be, doing, saying, thinking, believing, or feeling, they have three properties. One, if you do everything you can in a trajectory of what you think you want, if you say everything, if you think everything, if you believe everything, and you feel everything that you want in that trajectory, it will aggregate on itself. So it's going to collect more of those same thoughts, more of the same beliefs, more of the same people who have the same thoughts and the same beliefs, more of the same good feelings. They're going to have more of the same good words and more of the same good deeds, all aggregating on itself. And guess what else? The second characteristic, it exponentially grows. So it compounds. This is where Einstein figured out the rule of 72, and compound interest is based off of aggregation and compounding of energy. So not only are you attracting all of the right people and ideas, circumstances, coincidences, consequences, and karma into your life, but you get an exponential result because it compounds on itself.
Mhm.
And then the third characteristic, which is directly related to the man made construct of time, which helps us all be persistent and consistent, is it accelerates on itself. So the biggest detriment to people getting to where they think they want to be or better is that it takes too long because they attach their emotions to an outcome. So if you don't want it to take longer than you anticipate, the best thing you can do is do, say, think, believe, and feel in the trajectory of what you want every single day. So it holds the characteristics of energy, of aggregation, compounding, and acceleration. And that's the secret sauce of how to manipulate the man made construct of time. Also, remembering that the only limitation of the past is the meaning you give it, and the only limitation of the future is you. You can
Mm.
never overachieve your self-image. And I've broken down, clearing the interference between me and my past and me and my future. There's only two fears, basic categories of fear. You're either afraid of something in the past and it materializes itself with regret and guilt, right? And
Mhm.
Skip, I know you and I have personally shared experiences in our life that we have limited our future because we have regret and guilt of circumstances and of the past that has happened to us. But also, there's a fear of the future, which usually manifests itself or materializes as worry or anxiety
Mhm.
based
Yeah,
off
that
of the
makes
lower
perfect.
self image, right? And so we got to get and understand, okay, when I feel fear, I'm being interfered with from my potential. So I want to identify, is this a fear of the past or is this a fear of the future? And then go ahead and subcategorize it with the need of the ego that is coordinated or collaborating or synergistic to that fear. So is it a need to be offended? Is it because of my past? Or is it a need to be afraid or worried because of my future? And then I personally just stop. I don't try to out logic it, reason it. See, intuition. This is a new one. I know you guys haven't heard this, but people ask me all the time about gut feelings and intuition. Here's the problem with intuition: is people think that there's logic and reason incorporated into intuition. By definition, there's no logic or reason involved. So all intuition is a mechanism to indicate that you should heighten your awareness to use your intellect and inspiration to look for clues, patterns, to make the right choices, but it doesn't give you the answer. And so we can see that all the time where people have a gut feeling about, they're playing craps And they're like, I knew it was going to be a hard 8. No, you didn't. Your intuition, 6 different times during your role, your intuition was elevated and you were wrong 5 out of 6 times, right? And that's why you lose money.
Mhm.
Intuition is a heightening of an indicator, is a heightened indicator of, hey, pay attention to the clues and patterns so you make better choices.
Hmm, I like that.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Everybody needs to go back and listen to that last 3 minutes to 5 minutes there, because that'll change your life. And that's the beauty of getting to know David and understanding and following him and just seeing what he has to say, because he's Dave. You're on a mission. I know you're on a mission, and that mission is to help millions of people. So what is this?
Yeah, so for me, I study every day. And
Mhm.
studying to me is paying attention and intention, the 5 levels of coincidences that I want. And through this mission, the number one cause of death, the fastest growing cause of death in America is basically unhappiness. And I can't even attribute, as you guys can as doctors, that anxiety, fear, depression, not only creates suicide, but it creates cancer and it creates disease that kills you, even if you don't kill yourself. And so, basically, I have studied for 17 years every single day ways to live at ease, ways to live at ease, to know with faith that you're connected to and through an omniscient, all powerful, all knowing source that loves you more than your mom, that protects and promotes you at all times, and that you only have bigger and better in your future. And so, if I can teach people to identify the interference between the happiness, health, wealth, and worthiness that they've inherited from source, from God, if I can teach people to do so, they'll live in abundance. They'll be able to live with more happiness, more health, more wealth, and more worthiness. And so I've created a mission to come on shows like this, to write books, to speak, to do masterminds, to do movies and TV shows and podcasts and anything I can do, meetups in person, where I think I met you, Skip, the very first time, just standing outside in front of 100 people, helping them by answering them questions and giving more people in our community people that can help them to put them at ease. And if I can find 1,000 people like you, Skip, and you, Julie, I know that you two will empower 1,000 people to empower 1,000 people. I can change the world. And I say that with radical humility. I can change the world by keep on studying and empowering people like you two to empower others, because 1,000 times 1,000 is a million times 1,000 is a billion. That's a collective consciousness.
Yes, yes,
Imagine
it
if we together can create a collective consciousness of ease, of happiness, of abundance, knowing and reinforcing that you, Skip, Julie, me, we're a part of an infinite, abundant, unified, I repeat, unified system
Mhm.
of thought.
Yep.
All three of us are part of this. And I'm going to clear the interference between us and that for all of us in my journey, my lifetime. I'm going to find 1,000 people to empower 1,000, to empower 1,000, and change the world in a different
Mm.
way than Godney did it.
Well,
Mm,
I'm honored to be part of that
goosebumps.
1,000, right? And give Julie goosebumps. Thanks, Dave. And it means so much that you came on here with us. I mean, we've had tears, we've had laughter in our journey together. I can't wait to see you in Scotland coming up here. It's just been an absolute honor and pleasure. And I have to say this: I wouldn't know you without two other very, very close friends, Sean Dillon, Lacey Book, and the Dills, and they're absolutely amazing people. And to sit on this consciousness with types of people like this that want to be happy, that want to stay abundant, that want to give, it's been an absolute phenomenal journey. And David, I cannot thank you enough for coming on with us. How can our viewers watch you, listen to you, find you? You're everywhere. You are a social media juggernaut. Plus office hours on Apple TV and the 3 minute drill. Like, how do they find you, brother?
Well, first of all, I have a surprise guest for you. So just I had to do this.
Oh, hey, Julie.
Hi. Hi, guys. I miss
Oh, it's so good to
you.
see you.
I know. Are we going to see you in Scotland?
Yes, you
We will
are.
be
Oh, we
there.
Oh,
can't
you.
wait.
Oh, we'll be there. Oh, we'll be there.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah, it was
Have a
Ah,
so
good
nice
day,
to
you
see
guys.
you, Julie.
I just elevated the following. So,
Yes, you did.
you always say finish strong, and that's about the best finish I could have. But for your community, what I love to do is be able to send my exercises guides and my books for free. I'll sign a book, send it to them, pay for shipping and the book on my mission to help however I can. And the best way to contact me is my email that's right there, david@dmeltzer.com. Put it in the notes, send it to all your friends and family. I don't care, when or how you listen to this. David@dmeltzer.com. I'm David Meltzer on Google and every other platform. Please reach out to me. I live my life of service. I'm trying to build a community of people that want to help each other and know people that want to help each other. And you two certainly fit that bill, as does Dr. Sean Dill and Dr. Lacey Book, who, by the way, I'm going to see 2 days from now. They're
I
coming
know.
to visit for 24 hours. And you're always welcome to surprise or invited. Visit me, both of you. We have plenty of room here in California and plenty of sunshine and rain now. So you can get
Yeah.
both if you like it.
Well, we will definitely be taking you up on that, and I cannot thank you enough, David. It's like being next to one of my closest brothers when I get a chance to talk to you, and it really is. And Julie, I think you feel the same.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, David, thank you so much for being on with us. Now, everybody out there in the Prime family, go out there, get it done. Take care, everybody.